Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about these beautiful human beings that God has gifted us with. Yes, our babies. How do we program them to be the best versions of themselves? Let's find out. Been thinking about parenting, and every time you listen to celebs, listen to big preachers, listen to people out there who are doing so well, you never cease to hear them mention that there is this person in their past, a teacher, a parent, mostly teachers and parents, who either did something or said something that was dehumanizing, was discouraging, and then these people grow up and they prove themselves to be something bigger. I remember the late Miles Munro saying that a teacher told him, "You will amount to nothing." And so this teacher comes to one of his speaking conferences and hears him, and the teacher is old, and now he's just crying and tearful. And Miles is wondering, who is this that is just crying? And then he goes to him and tells him, "I am very, very sorry." And so I just thought about it. Maybe as parents, as caregivers, as teachers, we need to know that we play a very big role in the lives of our children. You could be a house help, a house manager. Whatever you tell a child is very important. Our children, when they come on earth, they come like, the computers, the way you buy a new computer, brand new computer, without any programs, it's just the hardware. They come just like hardware. And so they depend a lot on the environment, on the people around them, to be programmed on what they will be. For example, how your children will perceive relationships, how they will perceive money, how they will perceive women, how they will perceive men is highly dependent on what they see and what they hear in their environment. So I remember, like for me, one of the things I struggled with most, as I have said before, was low self-esteem. And where did it come from? I was singing, I loved singing. And then I sing, and then my teacher tells me, when I was in class 2, my teacher tells me, "Leave the line, you cannot sing." And what do I hear? I don't hear "you cannot sing." I hear "you can do nothing." Something I have heard lately and has really changed my perspective on parenting is that we should understand that children are meaning-making machines. So they make a meaning of everything that happens around them. For the couples, when we fight, when we say bad things about each other in front of the children, we program them to see an aspect or a perspective of relationships which can be either damaging or building them up. So what we do and what we say is very important. Sometimes we say demeaning words, like a child will do something wrong, and you tell them, "You're useless, you're foolish." And that statement alone can destroy the life of a child. So I just thought of sensitizing us that children need to be told things that will build them. And as I said, when children are born, they come as those computers, a new computer that has no program in it. So as caregivers, as parents, we are the persons who program these children. So when you have a child and the child keeps asking you, for example, for money, and you keep telling them, I don't have money, you think money grows on trees, you just love money, you are actually programming the child. Because then you're teaching the child that the world is a world of scarcity. And so when they grow up, they don't see abundance as a possibility. And so it's important to program your child, even the way we say these things. For example, instead of saying, we don't have money, or I don't have money, does money grow on trees? You can say something like, you know what, son, you know what, daughter? That's not really a priority for us right now. Yes, we have money, but this is the priority. You get into a supermarket and they want chocolate and sweet. Let them know the other perspective of these things are not as so good to your health, instead of just saying, I don't have money and brushing them off, because later that could program how they view money. The other aspect is relationships, how we relate with one another. When we say negative things about other people, we are programming our children. We are either planting in them a program that will teach them to be envious. When we teach our children lots and lots of competition, then they begin to see that they have to compare to other people for them to feel validated. They don't have the self-validation. So we need to program our children to know that they are their own competition. I know in our educational systems, we've been shown all along that we have to be number one. And so we grow up with that mindset, thinking that if I don't do better than so-and-so, I am not doing well. But then that's not true, because what we need to compete with is the version we were yesterday. If we compete with that version, then we are growing. But if we compete with another person, we could be better than them, but maybe that's not actually the standard that we should be measured against. So it's very important to program our children positively. So remember that you are programming your child, and your child is a meaning-making machine. Everything you say, everything you do means something to the child. For example, what do they see as love? For some of us, we may think that giving them gifts, giving them money, giving them material wealth, which I'm not saying that we shouldn't give, we should. But then it may not always mean love to a child. To a child, especially the young ones, a very young child, touch means love. As they grow older, time means world. I heard somebody say that the spelling of love to a child is T-I-M-E, that children see time, the time you spend with them, as love. That when you spend time with them, they feel that I am an important person. My mommy or my daddy or my caregiver can spend time with me, which to them means love. And we can actually create, a doctor told me once that how you program your child in the first 1,000 days of their lives is very important. I didn't know that because he said the foods that we give them, the words that we tell them will really impact the rest of their lives. And scientifically, they say the first 7 years of a child are critical in programming. You will either create a millionaire at that age or a poor person. You will either create your doctor at that age. You will either create that engineer, that high thing that you see according to you. So it's very important to be careful with what we tell our children. So I just thought, let's talk a little bit about parenting, a little bit about the programming, a little bit about how it affects our children. Because remember, parts of our mind, I keep saying that our minds, we have the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind stores everything from our childhood, from when you are young. Your mind forgets nothing. I remember there are times I would wonder, I'm seeing as if I was in a certain place. When was that? I can't remember, but it's stored in my subconscious mind. And so the subconscious mind acts as a reference. When things happen in our lives in future, we now go to that cabinet of our minds and just pull out, and that's why we respond differently to the different situations in life. 2 people or 3 people, we respond very differently to different situations. So make sure for your child, and the programming begins right at birth. So don't wait for tomorrow. You can take your young baby and call them beautiful names. Tell them you are victorious, you're a winner, you're meant to prosper, you're meant to do great. Some people tell children demeaning words and think that it doesn't affect them. I tell you, it's really affecting them. So let's join and just bring up the children that we want, children that can live to their best potential, children that can do great things in this world. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember to hit the notification bell, and also remember to share with a parent who may need to hear this, and just like. Don't forget to like. Don't watch and forget to like. So thank you so much. See you in another episode. Bye.